So I've just come up the hill from the path, and I've come across this patch of the silver birch trees, and there's sort of more dominant ones, but there's a lot of sort of scattered ones, like little sort of twigs and like almost like a bush. I'm not sure if they are silver birch trees. They've got similar textures to them though. And although quite a morbid thought, when I saw this patch of silver birch trees surrounded by these darker trees, these big, taller, dominant trees, my instant sort of thought and storytelling process of it is that these silver birch trees are like bones that have just been scattered, and these sort of darker trees around the edges of these silver birch trees are like the sort of like the grave keepers throwing the bones into the graves and things. It's quite a morbid thought really, but when I'm taking sort of woodland images, I like to sort of make a story and use the trees as characters, and that's the first thing that came to my head, although quite strange. Again, with foggy conditions this would be enhanced hugely. Unfortunately I've not got the best of both today. Good light and fog wouldn't quite work. But I'm going to try and get a shot here. I'm going to try and work some sort of composition, whether to sort of focus in more on just these silver birch trees, or whether to try and encapsulate the whole scene and try and get these big trees that are sort of like the grave keepers in the image. But obviously that's going to require a wide shot, and it's very, very harsh between the conditions. It's not soft in the sky because there's no fog. So I'm going to have a little play around here for a little bit now. The sun's just peeking up over the horizon. It's probably just hit my face on the camera actually. So tricky conditions to shoot in for woodland here, but I'm going to try and work out a composition. So after a good look at this area with the silver birch, and I'm just not quite feeling it. It needs those foggy conditions to work today. But unfortunately we've had excellent morning light, and the foggy conditions aren't around, unfortunately. But I think it's a composition that could definitely work on again. Work on when the conditions are correct. Like it wouldn't work in autumn. The colours would, for me, ruin the sort of story behind the image, and the foggy conditions help with this scene. I've also had a look further around this little woodland area, and there's some really nice, interesting trees. Some really sort of entangled trees. Some really nice silver birch, some really nice black barked trees. So there's definitely a lot of potential to be had around this area, but I just can't quite get a composition to work because of the conditions at the minute. And with this only being quite a narrow woodland and not too dense, you've got the bright sky that really sort of makes that harsh contrast between the trees and the sky, and it just looks messy, it doesn't look complete. So I've come across this, it's almost this big green hand sort of clawing its way up to the light. And I think it works for quite a nice image because we've got all these greens and all these mossy greens that sort of illuminating. It works really nice. It's a very nice, sort of a very dominant composition. This hand, being at the base of the hand and looking up at it, and it's trying to claw its way out. And you've got all the branches coming in from the side as well, which I think really adds to the whole image. This image, I think, does work without fog, and it'd be interesting to see what it looks like with fog. There's some really nice trees around this little area that have a lot of potential with different conditions, but this one I think works without the foggy conditions, and hopefully it's going to turn out okay. So settings wise, I'm on 1/8 of a second, f11 ISO 200. I am bracketing as well, just to make sure that we get the all the dynamic range, and then we can have the full. We can have a play around with it on Lightroom to make sure that we do get the correct exposure. So I'm going to pop the 2-second timer on, manually focused at f11, and that's that. I think that'll be alright. As I was walking back to the car anyway, I did spot this composition over here, and this is going to be the last image for today. And it's it's these very mossy trees that have caught my eye today. They just sort of sprays across the floor, this tree, and it's really quite unusual, really. And again, foggy conditions, I think this could be improved, this image, but I think it works without the foggy conditions due to its colour and its vibrancy. And there is a slight mist in the air because there's a body of water just behind the vlogging camera here, and obviously the mist has just come off the water and it's just creating this very fine mist. It's nothing substantial, but it's enough to add a little bit of atmosphere, and it's quite nice. It's been quite a cold evening, it's quite a clear night, so that's why we've got this mist. But yeah, I'm going to grab this shot. Compositionally, we've got these sort of sprawling branches coming towards the camera, and then there's some in the back left of the frame sort of sprawling away from the camera. And then we've got these two sort of dominant trunks, one on the left in the centre of the frame, one on the right on the far right of the frame. And yeah, it's just a nice image, this one. I do like this one. I'm at f11, 1/4 of a second, and ISO 200. No filters, no polarizer. A very simple image to take, really. But it was just all about finding this little location that I was walking past. So I'm going to grab the shot now. Pop my 2-second timer on. So guys, I'm going to end the video here. I think it's been quite a successful day today, well, successful morning. You know, we had the lovely light this morning for the sunrise and scouted out a really quite a good woodland to come back to for some better conditions. And even though the conditions weren't exactly how I wanted them for the woodland, sorry, I think I've still come away with a couple of good images from the woodland. I think it's trying to look at things a lot differently, and that's the thing I've learned today, is when you're shooting woodland and it's not the perfect conditions, try and use them to your advantage. So try and use the sky as, you know, these hands trying to get out to the light. And I think if you approach the trees as characters and you try and envision a story, then it's easier to compose an image. And whereas if you just look at it as a tree on the floor, which that's what it is at the end of the day, is you can't have that sort of inspiration to take the image. So I think that's what almost storytelling with woodland images is good for, and it does help the photographic process. So I'm going to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed today's little outing, and hopefully I can see you in the next one. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.